It's your boy Moody Montana, Silladale Podcast. Make sure y'all subscribe to this page, man. It's my YouTube channel right here. You know we up and running with this shit. You feel me? Yo, check this out, right? Mel Gibson got a new movie out, which to the Hollywood elites is trying to ban. You know what I mean? They trying to make it like it's a bad movie, which is fucked up because you know, a lot of them is involved in that shit. You know what I mean? So they definitely against that shit and it's gonna ruffle a lot of feathers, you know what I mean? But I want y'all to take a look at this shit right here that I was looking at. Whatever. Check this shit out.
It looks like Mel Gibson got the Hollywood elites panicking after he exposed them for their alleged involvement in human trafficking.
You know, of course, it's lamentable, all the stuff that's gone on. You know, this, like any institution, I mean, it's capable of being corrupted.
Mel Gibson's new movie about child trafficking, Sound of Freedom, is stirring up a lot of noise in the media, and fans are claiming that theaters are intentionally sabotaging screenings of this movie.
It's about to start. We just pause it like a second before it goes. Just to let you guys know again, it is gonna get hot. It is gonna be like that throughout the whole movie.
So why should only this one though, not all the other ones?
Because this was assigned in a theater that was smaller, unfortunately, because of high demand in an audience.
Gibson has been an outspoken critic of Hollywood since the 90s, and fans are now speculating that the powerful Hollywood elites are trying to undermine his new movie to stop him from exposing them. But who are these elites Mel Gibson is trying to expose? And is Hollywood really trying to sabotage his movie? Let's break it down.
I think it's a lot of the people that get in it. And, you know, institutions good or as bad as the people in it running it, you know.
Mel Gibson is back, and it looks like he rattled some cages in Hollywood with his new movie about trafficking. In case you missed it, Gibson's new movie, Sound of Freedom, came out earlier this month, and it already grossed nearly $100 million worldwide against a $14 million budget. But despite the enormous success among audiences, the movie is not supported by mainstream media, and several major streaming platforms, including Netflix, Disney, and Amazon, refuse to distribute it. Sound of Freedom stars Jim Caviezel as a former government agent, Tim Ballard, on a mission to rescue children from trafficking in Colombia. And while the movie itself doesn't focus on Hollywood, both Jim and Mel Gibson have seemingly suggested in interviews that Hollywood elites are involved in global trafficking rings. During one recent podcast appearance, Caviezel claimed the adrenochrome empire is driving demand for trafficked children. And in another interview, Caviezel claimed that Jeffrey Epstein is not the only high-profile predator who had a secret island.
I asked them about that one particular part where everybody's talking, and they all cried out Epstein Island. And I went, oh, okay. Now I understand what we're up against.
Wow.
Epstein Island isn't the only island out there. And Tim Ballard takes down one in the film.
As for Mel Gibson, he's always been a vocal critic of Hollywood, and he's already been blacklisted by the industry multiple times. All the way back in 1998, Gibson said in an interview that the first time he moved to Hollywood, he noticed some dark energy and saw things that he simply couldn't understand.
And I formed a bunch of opinions about the town and about the people in it that were like, surely that couldn't be, because the whole place can't be like, you know, Weird Town, you know, where the stranger wanders in and all the people are in the bar and they all shut up when he looks at them and they tell you don't go into the house on the hill.
At first, Gibson said he was being paranoid and imagining things. However, the more time he spent living and working in Hollywood, the more this dark energy became apparent. According to Gibson, working in Hollywood made him realize that some of his worst nightmares were real. And he also talked about the way Hollywood treats women, recalling disturbing comments he heard from a well-known producer.
I know, a successful producer, I will not mention names, but his whole opinion about women on film, from beginning to end, is very brief. He says, women on film, either naked or dead. Both is better.
Gibson explained that a lot of people in Hollywood think this way because they are spiritually sick, and these people are the ones that end up making the big bucks. Meanwhile, Tim Ballard, former Homeland Security agent and anti-trafficking activist who's portrayed by Jim Caviezel in Sound of Freedom, claimed that the mainstream media is deliberately discrediting this movie as a conspiracy theory to protect the elites who are involved in the same crimes the movie talks about. CNN, The Guardian, Rolling Stone, and many other major publications have all branded Sound of Freedom as a conspiracy film and warned people not to waste time watching it. However, Ballard claimed in a recent interview that Sound of Freedom is based on a true story, and he slammed the mainstream media for dismissing the real-life experiences of trafficking victims.
These kids are my friends. They're young adults now, the ones that were rescued. They're going to come out soon and tell their story. It's going to be very awkward when the mainstream
publications and news sources are trying to discredit Sound of Freedom is because they know the movie will trigger a wider conversation about trafficking.
I think that's what they're trying to avoid, and they know this film's going to shine a light on all of the things, all the atrocities happening to children, and so they have to discredit it by lying about it.
Many fans are now pointing out the hypocrisy of media and streaming giants like Netflix that allow much more disturbing material on their platforms. Meanwhile, reports also emerged that Disney tried to suppress Sound of Freedom, and Mel Gibson had to fight for years to get the movie released. The script for Sound of Freedom was written in 2015, and the filming finished in 2018. However, the movie sat on the shelf for almost 5 years, jumping between different studios. According to Screen Rant, the producers finally managed to make a distribution deal with 20th Century Fox. But in 2019, the Walt Disney Company officially purchased 20th Century Fox, automatically acquiring all the studio's projects that were in development, including Sound of Freedom. Fans are now speculating that the Disney bosses deliberately suppressed Sound of Freedom because they were scared the movie would expose some of their own higher-ups. But that's not all. Many moviegoers who went to see Sound of Freedom in their local theaters claimed that the theaters tried to sabotage the screenings and discourage them from purchasing the tickets. Multiple fans who went to see the movie at AMC theaters and Regal cinemas shared videos on social media claiming they've been forced to evacuate theaters due to unforeseen circumstances. One fan claimed that when he saw the film, there was no AC running in the theater and it was unbearably hot. But when he asked the AMC employee to turn on the AC because it worked perfectly fine for other screenings, the employee claimed the AC was out of order.
So AMC and Regal, the people who own it, are not running AC and they're making it hard to get tickets. That should make you go see this movie even more.
Many other fans had similar experiences, leading to speculation that Sound of Freedom is being suppressed on purpose. Besides that, celebrities are actively ignoring Sound of Freedom, and they're even refusing to comment on it. Fans are now wondering how come all these celebs who were so vocal about their activism and their dedication to protecting children are now completely silent about Mel Gibson's movie. Specifically, people like Oprah, whose entire reputation rests on their public image as philanthropists and humanitarians. As the buzz surrounding Sound of Freedom grew, footage emerged of Oprah talking about the essay and claiming that if the abuser does the job well, the victim will always feel good.
If an abuser is doing his job well, you've never experienced sex before, this is your first sexual encounter, they're doing their job well, it's bound to feel good.
Many fans and actual victims slammed Oprah over these comments and accused her of making light of one of the worst kinds of crimes. It's so disturbing and disgusting for Oprah to say it feels good, one fan said. As a victim who was abused at age 6, I can 100% say it didn't feel good. It almost pisses me off that she says that because it's like she's trying to shame victims or pushing some twisted narrative on every situation. And another fan added, it's the fact that she keeps saying if the abuser's any good, like she knows the top shelf of abusers who know how to get the job done. Oprah also actively supported Michael Jackson's accusers after MJ died and gave them a platform to talk about their allegations, none of which have been proven in court. Oprah later claimed that she felt the moral duty to platform these men and said she'd gladly take the backlash if it means she can also bring awareness to a pattern of SA in Hollywood. However, fans were quick to call out Oprah for being a hypocrite, claiming that she didn't seem too interested in bringing awareness to the pattern of her former close friend, Harvey Weinstein. Fans are now wondering how come Oprah doesn't want to platform Mel Gibson and the producers of Sound of Freedom if she's so concerned about these issues. At the same time, they're praising Gibson for opening an important conversation despite Hollywood repeatedly trying to cancel him. Mel Gibson has been trying to tell us for a long time, one fan said. What's happening in Hollywood and in politics is too horrible for most people to believe. And another fan wrote, suddenly the slander campaign against him makes sense. If they can't prove you wrong, they frame you for crazy. But let's hear your thoughts on this situation surrounding Mel Gibson's new movie. Do you think Hollywood is deliberately trying to suppress Sound of Freedom? Comment down below, and don't miss out on this next story.
Yo, word up, real talk, right? Motherfucking Oprah, Ellen, like I've been saying this shit for a minute since like they did the coronavirus when the dude Harvey Weinstein was went up, had to battle the court shit. You know what I mean? Like, and it was a lot of people that he mentioned that got them in trouble as well. You know what I mean? Mind you, like, we ain't gonna sweep under the rug. They said Oprah House in Florida got raided. Then it came down to us where it was like Oprah was saying, no, ain't no house of hers get raided. And this, that, and the third. Why would somebody lie and say that? You know what I mean? Then it was pictures of y'all that's not on the internet now with ankle bracelets in the public. I know it's ankle bracelets. It's not Photoshop. Not none of that shit. You know what I mean? But like, let me pull this up for y'all real quick. All right, here you go. So this is from a podcast that I ain't watched it in a minute. You know what I mean? But you know I got to start tapping it back in. You know what I mean? But this comes from a podcast that I was watching back then. You know what I mean? The Privilege Show right here, as you can see. You know what I mean? And they be on their shit. You know what I mean? A lot of y'all probably ain't even know a lot of this shit was going on, but pay attention to what they talking about right here. You feel me?
I heard her and Ellen are wearing
Y'all didn't know?
Contact tracing?
Y'all didn't know that if they wear ankle bracelets up, I didn't see it firsthand, but it sure does look like in the pictures.
Yeah.
Listen, I know niggas from the hood, and I've seen ankle bracelets before, and I know the shape of them shit. So,
what do you think it's about?
The child trafficking.
Right, that's what I've been hearing the same with
Child
Ellen,
trafficking.
her and Oprah.
It ain't just that.
That apparently that's why Harvey Weinstein only got 21 years, because he decided to give other information on other people having to do with the child trafficking, sex trafficking, drug, narcotics.
And apparently, was it Jeff Epstein? That was his name, Epstein? He's not even dead.
Committed suicide?
They faked his death. He's not dead.
Yeah, faked his death,
right?
Yeah.
Because he had so much dirt on the people. That's why they're bringing all this down now. You know, which is just, you know, there's gonna, again, allegedly. Okay, none of this has been confirmed.
Well, but a picture of like his earlobe and then the body that they were wheeling out, and the earlobe is very, very different.
I mean, well, what I mean by allegedly, these people are involved in sex trafficking and child trafficking. Allegedly, right? We got to say that.
Allegedly, yeah.
But there is a lot of people that they are claiming are involved in this. Like,
that Tom Hanks is involved in. That was
allegedly
the reason he was in Australia and didn't come back.
Yep, they're saying that possibly there's a lot of, I don't want to call any names now because we haven't heard about them, but there's a lot of people that you're gonna run into that are part of this. I mean, Oprah allegedly has tunnels under her home in Florida. Okay,
Boca Raton,
where they're running people back and forth.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure they do. I mean, if a bomb came through, you know, I'm pretty sure there's an elite set that has that place to know where to go. You know,
right.
All I can say is there's a reason why Oprah never spoke up on the people that she was very close to.
Right.
Been indicted and found guilty for these things, but is willing to talk about everyone else. It would be different if she avoided the conversation altogether. But the fact that she specifically does not go after these people tells me there's a reason why. And that's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. Now, that's a good.
Sorry about the fucking the hard right we took or hard left, but
no, it's all good because we were paying homage to Lil. I was about to say Lil. We were paying homage to Little Richard and Andre Harrell, rest in peace. And also there was not the Tiger King, but one of the Sigmund Freud.
Yep, he passed away. Yep, from Corona, right?
Passed away. Yeah. And then who did you mention, Isaac? You mentioned somebody earlier.
A friend of mine, his father's best friend, passed away literally like 3 days ago, and he had a corona for a week and a half. So this whole thing about come outside stuff, like on a regular, no more mask and open, y'all do what y'all want to do, but I'm gonna go ahead and just let this thing pass on a little longer. Give myself a little bit more space for a little longer. You know what I mean? Just because I don't know the government and what they're doing, but I know they're doing something.
Now that I believe that too. Yeah, that's what we have for celebrity news.
Yeah.
Yo, so it's a lot of shit going on, man. Like we gotta be more paying way more attention to this shit. You know what I mean? So you figure they got the sex trafficking, and you know what I mean. The things they want, like they trying to have y'all daughters and shit like this going all on TikTok and YouTube and dancing and doing all these dances and shit like that. They want y'all. That's why they marketing the shit that we like. I can't the girl, what's her name? Sexy Red, the booty hole brown girl. Like I can't get like why would somebody push her? You know what I mean? Like why would somebody push her? This is crazy, man. Yeah, so this the type of shit that they want to market now to have your kids out here dancing and shit too. You know what I mean? Not to mention they trying to make being gay the thing too. You know what I mean? So like y'all gotta watch out for the music and everything. You know what I mean? Like take a look at this music clip right here. This shit don't make no sense, man. This the shit they marketing.
Yeah, he keep playing with me. He don't know. I ain't no scary ass bitch. I'm a hoe. You know it. Bitch, I ain't never gave a fuck cause I'm grown. If he ain't right, he can eat it off the bone. Give me that sick, I've been bad. Fuck me real good like you mad. Damn, that did be so good. He might be my next baby dad. Hell nah, I don't dance, I fuck. Real ghetto bitch, weak niggas can't touch. We so long that it's in my butt. When I walk in, leave a nigga starstruck. Know what I'm saying? Come fuck some. It's the more.
Look at that. Like that shit don't make no motherfucking sense, man. No, there you go. That shit don't make no sense. This shit was funny at first, but now this shit ain't funny because look at this shit.
Take heat, fuck these niggas up.
I'm out of town, thuggin' with my round. My coochie pink, my booty hole brown. Where the niggas come looking for the hoes. Quit playing nigga, cause suck a bitch soul. Pound town, just left Pound town. Let my nigga, he just took a bitch down. Yeah, that nigga dick a bitch down. Yeah, that nigga eat me out. Pound town, just left Pound town. Let my nigga, he just took a bitch down. Yeah, that nigga dick a bitch down. Yeah.
Yo, is y'all paying attention to this shit, bro? Like for real? Pound Town. That's the move. Pound Town now. This shit fucking crazy, bro. Like, and then they got motherfuckers like Drake and other. Yo, this shit is fucking. Yeah, so Drake supposed to be dating this little chick. Like, I don't know what type of exposure they want for their culture. Like, this is nuts. Alright, so yeah, Drake, like, I don't know what type of exposure you want from your culture by promoting somebody that's going to teach the younger generation it's okay to be a hoe. Like, I know they did it, you know what I mean? Like, back in the day, Trina and all that shit, you know what I mean? But this is like right here, like, this is like getting like ridiculous now. Like, 'cause who these people want to be. Nicki Minaj feature, all type of shit. Like, look at this shit.
Drake's eligible bachelor status may be a big part of his persona, but it appears that Sexy Red might just be the lucky lady to lock him down. Drake's It's All a Blur tour took over Brooklyn's Barclays Center for a second consecutive night on Tuesday, July 18th, where he was seen cozying up to Sexy Red backstage. A photo shared to social media showed Drake planting a passionate kiss on the rising star's cheek while he sat with his arm around her. Sexy Red appeared to reciprocate the love by clasping his face with her hand. While sharing the pictures to his Instagram stories, Drake referred to the rapper as his rightful wife. He wrote, "Just met my rightful wife, @SexyRed. If my girl see y'all backstage being thirsty, it's gonna get smoky." Sexy Red also shared this image along with another of Drake sticking his tongue out for the camera with the caption, "I'm your favorite rapper, favorite rapper." It also wasn't just backstage where the two cozied up. Drake also shared a photo of him kissing Sexy Red on the cheek during the show itself as he embraced her in the VIP section. So what are your thoughts on Drake and Sexy Red getting affectionate at his concert? And do you think this could lead somewhere, or do you think this was all for show?
Sometimes you look behind the curtain at a lot of people's relationships, and they're just not as like peachy as they seem. So that was just kind of my shot at like anybody who feels like, oh, like you should have settled by now. I love my space. I love my work. And I love my routine. And for
my thing is, why is y'all helping promote this shit? You know what I mean? Hip hop ain't even hip hop no more. You know what I mean? Like everybody want to be a shooter, everybody want to be a killer, everybody got to switch. You know what I mean? Like, and it's tiring, like to the point where I barely listen to that shit no more. You know what I mean? And I'm hip hop, like a motherfucker. I barely listen to that shit no more. You feel me? Because it's like corny. It's like all the same shit. And we ain't doing nothing. And I'm firsthand watching the youngest follow the music and destroying their lives. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't want it to become a habitual habit to our young women that's growing up. You know what I mean? The whole message is about let them rap niggas and them rap bitches be them. You know what I mean? Let them live out their fantasies of the money that the devil is giving them. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of us ain't gonna achieve that type of money. A lot of us ain't gonna achieve that type of lifestyle. You know what I mean? So like, be mindful of what you chasing in this life, because this shit's short and you only got one. So like, live your life. Don't fuck it up trying to follow some rap bitch or some rap nigga at the end of the day. You know what I mean? It's my time. Make sure y'all subscribe. Make sure y'all like and leave a comment. Moody Montana, Silver Podcast.